She's kicking right now, a lot. Very soon, you'll see like a bump or a head over here. I have to thank these, I see I'm crying already. These wonderful women. I feel like I have a family or two or like 10 families in New York. And thank you, Sylvia, for coming all the way from Brazil. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna play the game.
What?
Okay. Everyone has to guess which features the mommy-to-be would like the baby to inherit from each parent. When you guys have completed the list, the mommy-to-be will state her preferences. Okay, you have 3 minutes.
Okay. Nose. My nose is a potato nose, and it's very soft. And Andrew's nose is very big. I put half and half because I kind of needed to give him something. But you get a point for both.
Smile.
In Brazil, where I grew up, family is not just your siblings and your mom and dad. It's your neighbor, all your uncles, aunts, cousins, first cousins, second cousins, third cousins. So when you go through a hard situation like we did, our entire family came. And now that I'm here in America, I miss everybody being a part of your family. Thank you, everyone. There's no diet tonight. My house is always full of people, and I'm always trying to get more people around me because I really do think that that extended family is extremely important because they'll be there. So it makes a difference.
I was going to be an artist when I was in 6th grade. As a child, I would read books about artists and their tragic lives. And there I was like, where's my tragic story? You know, I had a very privileged, upbringing as far as all of my needs were met. That's what I consider privileged. I had family that loved me and good education.
I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi. I was very strong-willed, and I got into trouble a lot because I was so curious and so mischievous. My mother and father divorced when I was about 2. So my mom had her work cut out for her with me. I was the human tornado. Everything was documented. She had a video camera at all times.
Underwear. And what else? Something went behind you. Oh, thank you! Your first bra. All right.
But when it came time to choose a major in college, she wasn't truly believing that I could become an artist, like a real artist. She would find articles about how graphic design is a, lucrative career, or that I could always teach art and then do my art on the side. And so even if I would win awards or have big dreams of what I wanted to do, there was always that but hanging over in my mind. I do have something to prove to her.
Grandma.
You didn't use your key.
I know. Sorry.
How are you?
Good. Hi, baby.
My grandma is just really giving, and she always wants to do everything for everyone else. Even when my mom was working, she picked our carpool up, or she would take us to get new shoes, or just like little things. She's always been a part of our lives. My grandparents moved into this house when my mom was 6 weeks old. And when we sleep over, we sleep in our mom's room. It's just nice, homey feel. I got an 1880 on my SAT, but because I've taken it other times, some schools take the highest of like critical reading, the highest of math from like different tests.
Okay.
So it's like a 1910 total.
Uh-huh.
I think my mom got a lot of her good qualities from my grandma.
Grandma, how old was Mommy in this picture?
She was 1.
And her brothers.
1, 3, and 5.
I love looking at pictures of when she was young. There will be a certain picture when her head's a certain way or her arm's in a certain position where I can like see myself in the picture. This is my mom's graduation from college. This is my parents' wedding over here. My favorite is the one down there on the grass. I just like the clothes and the light. It shows their personalities a lot.
My story is one of a late starter. The fact that my mother killed herself made me feel that there was something wrong with me and that it was my fault, up until I discovered that it wasn't, which was at age 64. You know, I mean, that's a long life there that I lived, thinking that it was my fault. And obviously that affected my relationships, and because it affected how I perceived myself, you know, that I wasn't good enough, that there was something wrong with me.
Everything about my life changed. Everything. It was the defining moment. Everything went from being in color to being black and white. Everything went from possible to impossible. Everything went from hoping for the future to craving the past.
We were coming home from a party. My dad was driving. My mom was in the front seat. My cousin and baby sister Katie were in the middle, and my sister Mary and I were in the back. My mother was killed in that car accident, my little sister Katie, who was 3, and my cousin Fran, and me and my sister Mary and my dad survived. So there were 3 deaths and 3 survivors.
This is a picture of my mom when she was like, what, 20? She came from a very big family and went to public schools and got herself a scholarship in a very nice university. She had the focus, you know, I want to do this in life and I'm going to do it. And then she went and did it. She did an exchange program in Texas when she was 19. And there was this picture of this like tall, blonde guy, very strong. And eventually I got one of my aunts to tell me this story. She was dating the captain of the football team, and it was Bob. And my aunts would always be like, yeah, you know, her dream was for one of you to marry an American. And look at you, you just married one. And he looks exactly like Bob. And then my dad comes in and like, on a college program aboard a ship. It goes around the world. You get to explore the countries, and then when you're on the ship, you can pretend to study. My Aunt Beth took me. We're boarding the ship, and all of a sudden, I completely stop. And there's this guy who's like completely sweaty, without a shirt, with a basketball under his arm, missing a tooth with like some really ridiculous bandana. My aunt is kind of embarrassed, pulls me, she's like, Leticia, come on. I proceeded to stalk him for the next few weeks, and then somewhere between China and Malaysia, we finally got together. The day we left the ship, I had no idea I was gonna see him again. But he said one day he would knock on my door and make me his wife. Life was great. I had the guy, everything was falling into place, but in the back of my head, I knew that there was something I needed to take care of. My mom was only 39 when she had her cancer. So the doctors at the time said it's worth for us to try and figure out if there's something that is making you more susceptible to generating breast cancer. In the early 90s, and they found the BRCA gene. If you had a mutation somewhere in that gene, which is just, a hiccup on acid basis, you would have a much higher percentage of developing breast cancer. So my mom did this mapping out of her gene. It's nothing that would change for her, but she was thinking it's going to be something to inform my 3 daughters. And they did find a mutation. Before we got married, I talked to Andrew about the possibility that I could develop breast cancer early in life.
In my way, I did a ton of research, and at this point, I'm sure we're on the same page, but I think I was able to tell her a bit about the gene that she may not have known at first. And it's scary.
If I have the BRCA gene, I have 75% chance to develop breast cancer. The odds are just enormous. And it is good to have somebody sharing that burden with me.
Right now, I'm a senior in high school. It's my last year, so I take all of my work really seriously. School has always been the one place I can control, just that one place where I can put my energy toward and get stuff out of. If I study for a test, I know I can get a good grade. It's just my way of having some stability in my life. I live at home with my dad and my little sister, Brooke. It's weird to think that my mom, at some point when she was 17 years old, was doing exactly what I'm doing now. Sitting on her bed, thinking about what college she's going to end up at. My mom went to UCLA, and I always wanted to go there too. There's so much that I don't know about my mom, so I think it would be nice to make my own experiences there, knowing that she was there too. And I love the fact that it's so close. If Brooke has a school project that she needs help on, I want to be able to come home if necessary.
Sorry.
Brooke looks up a lot to me, and I feel like she's my responsibility. Like, I'm really protective over her. Excuse me? Can you get a pound of low-sodium turkey? We're good with the yogurt. I've been older and taken on more responsibility, but Brooke had to deal with me mothering her, which can't be easy. I was 12 and she was 8 and she needed a mother, and she got stuck with a 12-year-old. So, I mean, we both got the short side of the straw.
What do you want me to do?
Get some cucumbers. I mean, I don't sit here and pay bills and do taxes, but I do a lot of things that my friends aren't doing.
Art is a curse and a blessing. You love what you do, but you have to produce work to survive, and it's always unmanageable, or, if it gets to a manageable point, I'm doing something that's mass producing, like with the nesting dolls. I bought some blank sets of nesting dolls, and my husband said, "What about doing the Golden Girls?" And I laughed thinking about it because it was just perfect. I painted this set and put the image of it on Facebook. The next day, I get an email from someone at MSNBC asking, "Well, how long have you been doing these?" And I was like, "We're about 2 days now." It really threw me off track. I didn't know. I mean, I wasn't a nesting doll artist. I wasn't the kitschy artist. I had a very serious art show that I had planned with all of my paintings. It was a happy accident, but it's not all me. I did my own kind of personal stuff, images that I just paint. Lonely, isolated female figures.
When I was little, I remember going to the art museum and wanting my artwork one day to be on the wall. Your work is there to be admired. You don't have to worry about selling, and that sometimes can derail a lot of motivation and energy with your artwork because you associate success with sales. When you don't have sales, you feel like a failure.
But I have to break away from thinking that I have to sell something. This is the most important thing for me to do.
Não adianta usar as mãos para pegar aonde o sono está. Tem só que fechar a janela do olhar e a porta da voz. She's mine. It's kind of a joke how easy my delivery was. I got there and in 5 minutes I popped out a baby and I was just fine. My nanny said, "You're just like your mother." She used to say, "The easiest thing in the world is to give birth to a child. You're doing exactly like her." And I was like, "Oh, see, Mama, I'm doing right by you. Having kids easily." So now I just have to raise them well. I would love to have a video that showed me how she was dealing with me. My mother's mother passed away from cancer when my mother was my age. She was 29. Wow, I never thought of that. Never really realized until now. It's kind of a mess. But I'm going back to Brazil for Ana Carolina's christening, and I'm so excited. My whole family's gonna get to meet her, and I'm finally gonna get a break. Right before she was born, I wrote her a little letter for her birthday. Dearest Ana Carolina, thank you for coming into my life. You come from a very powerful line of women that have changed many people's lives. The strong women that have come before you will help you and hold you without your knowledge. Like your grandmother Marcia, who was my mother, may you challenge expectations and rise above your hardships without complaint. Now for me, I'm not sure yet what to wish you as I hope my life and you teach me a lot in the years to come.
This might sound very strange, but I never felt the loss. When I was told that my mother died, I never even cried. I think that my mother had been gone from the beginning. When I was around 7, 8, and 9, and I began to have close girlfriends, and I would oftentimes sleep over at their house, I noticed that their mothers were different. You know, that they were present. You know, that at the dinner table, people talked. You know, you don't know what you're missing if you've never had it.
The feelings of, you know, grieving those losses, my mother and my sister, would have destroyed me. So it came up later in life. And I feel like just when you think you're like done with it, it'll come up in some like other way that's like, ah.
I miss her almost daily. I miss the presence of that archetype. Not necessarily my mother, because I think I wanted more emotionally than she was ready or willing to give. I remember one time we were coming home from the A&P after food shopping, and there's 5 kids, and it's a Buick station wagon, and my Nana was in the front, and my mom was driving, and I was in the middle. And somehow my foot got positioned between my mother's foot and the gas pedal. So every time she pressed the gas pedal, she was pressing on my foot. And I didn't tell her during the ride home, but when we got home, she said, why didn't you tell me? And I didn't answer because I didn't know how to say, I want you to touch me.
Okay. This is going to be one sassy thoughts.
When I went off to college, I kind of started separating myself from my mother. I'm feeling that first really big burst of independence. So in my mind, you know, my mom had been the cell phone for the past couple of years.
I wish that cat could be smoking a cigarette.
It's not a cat,
I mean, Fox. Fox, could she be smoking a cigarette with a cigarette holder like a Cruella de Vil?
You're crazy.
One time when I was home from college, I wound up arguing with my mother. I told her she was being irrational, and I was going to stay with my father until she calmed down and became kind of rational again. And then she basically slammed the door in my face. And that's the last conversation I had with her.
My stepdad called me on my cell phone, and he said that I needed to come home. I said, no, I gotta go back to work. He was like, no, you have called work. You have to come home. And so that was sort of the news of, when this is bad, something's wrong. I thought it was like maybe my grandmother or a grandparent, or it was just sort of like, surely nothing can be wrong with my mom. And when I get there, my mom's car is not in the carport. I walked in, and my stepfather told me that my mother committed suicide. She put the gun to her head, and she shot herself. It was so primitive. Like, I couldn't have controlled what I did. I threw myself, my body collapsed, and I fell on the ground. I was choking. My vision was blurred. Nothing like made sense. Everything kind of echoed, and when I finally like came to, everything got really quiet.
I applied to UCLA, UC Santa Barbara, Berkeley, and Cal Poly. I'm working on my college essay for Michigan. The prompt was to write about a challenge that you've overcome. We all acquire skills in different ways. Some skills are hardwired in our DNA. Others are gained through diligent practice. As a child, I was taught to ride a bicycle. I pedaled until my mother let go of the back of my bike. I took my fair share of tumbles, but I learned how to balance on just 2 wheels. In life, balance is not always easy. Sometimes the wheels come off altogether. When I was 12 years old, my mother died from breast cancer. My center of gravity would have to be redefined.
January 18th.
And the night.
Jordan is 9.5. Brookie is almost
6, 7.
Sequoia is.
Jordy is really tired.
It's hard for a 7 or 8-year-old to differentiate a cold and cancer. I think they told us maybe in February, and Brooke's birthday is January, so I remember thinking that it wasn't fair that Brooke was gonna have my mom at her birthday party with hair, and that at my birthday party, my friends were gonna see my mom in a bandana. Like, that's how little we were. We never realized that the whole thing could be even more life-changing than it was at the time. My mom wasn't even 38, and I was 12, so I had that put the Band-Aid on, like tuck me into bed relationship, but I never had, how old were you when you had your first boyfriend, or what dress did you get for prom? Like, I won't have any of those conversations. It doesn't make sense. The fact that she died, and the fact that me and Brooke don't have a mom, but all of our cousins do, or like the fact that Brooke will never go through any graduation with her mom, not even 5th grade. It's just so much of our life that she missed out on.
Hey, you over there, the pink and white. Grumpy. Oh my goodness. And you? Peace out, dude.
What's up, homie?
Can you sing me a song or something?
Hi, and turn off the camera. That's the sign. It goes, hi, and turn off the camera. Hey.
Christening is very traditional in Brazil. It's not just religious anymore, it became cultural. You get a godmother and a godfather. My godmother was my mother's older sister. She was my second mom. She was always there. And I'm sure my mother never expected to pass away so early. But she did pick the right godmother. And that's one of the things that I wanted Anna to have. Acho que foi muito bem dito, é um momento muito importante pra gente e só tem gente querida aqui. Todo mundo é da família e não ela tá dizendo tudo por mim, gente. Sem palavras, ela...
Com a graça de Deus, estamos aqui hoje em nome de uma pessoa chamada Jesus Cristo, para pedir a bênção de Deus. Então vamos estender as mãos sobre a Carolina. E aí no seu coração você coloque tudo de bom em nome do Pai, e do Filho, e do Espírito Santo. Amém. Uma salva de palmas. Ana Carolina! Muito bem! Ana Carolina! Ana Carolina!
I love being back in Brazil. Coming to this hurricane of people and gossip and loudness and just so much love. I'm really lucky that I can bring Anna here. Seeing Anna with my family gave me a new dimension. I have to be responsible. I actually need to go find out about the BRCA mutation. I owe it to myself and to her. So I'm going to take the genetic BRCA mutation test.
I was feeling bad the other morning and I took a pregnancy test, and seeing the plus sign show up was just surreal. It's like a rush of excitement, and then I thought, oh wow, what did we just do? I had a real emotional wave. I have these dreams where I would be kind of living my everyday life, and then my mom would come around the corner like looking like refreshed, like she's been on vacation, and I had to sort in my dream all these feelings about, you know, you can't just come back into our lives like this. You can't pretend like nothing ever happened. And she just kind of brushed it off. After my mother's suicide, my life changed immediately because I knew it was very short-lived. I quit hanging out with my boyfriend at the time, and I started dating Justin. It was pretty set from the beginning that we knew we wanted to get married. So many life events have happened without my mother present in them. She didn't get to meet Justin, and she won't get to know her grandchild, and she would have wanted to be a part of every minute of it.
I never talked to my father about the fact that my mother killed herself. I found out from a movie magazine. So nobody ever talked about it. The first time anyone ever even mentioned the fact that my mother had killed herself was when I was this summer sitting with my very young stepmother. that became my mother figure, who was only 7 years older than me when my father remarried, she said, you know, I'm so sorry, and, you know, how are you doing about it? How are you feeling about the fact that your mother killed herself? The fact that she asked me was just stunning to me. Oh my God, you're allowed to talk about these things?
If there was a certain kind of very relaxed person, their kind of relaxed femininity put me in like a trance. I had a piano teacher named Mrs. Gold, and I would go take piano. I really had no interest in piano, but I love Mrs. Gold, and we would like practice the piano, and she was like really feminine. She'd wear silk blouses, and we'd go in her basement, and she'd be like, "Now, do you want me to play it for you first?" And I was like, "Yes." And she would smell perfume, and she'd be like, dun, 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 and her shirt would brush against me, and I was like, I was in heaven.
There was a tremendous amount of neglect, not necessarily purposeful, you know, but my father had 5 small children, a dead wife, and a mother-in-law to deal with. You know, when you're 10 years old and you do all the laundry, you put everything in together and all the colors bleed, and so it just, there was a real stigma, you know, to being the kids with the dead mother. But also, we looked motherless.
After I came back to New York, I took the genetic test and I got a phone call to come and get the results.
You know, we really don't have a good model, you know, and we're gonna have to compromise.
I had never seen, and I still haven't seen, Andrew scared of anything until that day.
I knew enough about the gene going in that it's not a death sentence. And she told me on the way that she felt pretty strongly that she wasn't going to be positive.
Shit. Really? I tested positive. I have the same gene mutation that my mother had.
The world changed in an instant.
There's something in you that says you're either gonna have to take away your breasts or you might develop breast cancer. And then I stopped. This is it. I don't know how a gene changes me or doesn't change me, but this little inch of thing is in every cell of my body. It's in my fingernails, in my hair, in my knee. It's there. I need to just know what to do with it. I mean, a lot of people don't know what's gonna happen to them. I at least have a clue of something that could happen to me, but I don't know if I'm gonna get hit by a bus on the street. I don't know anything. But this little thing that could go wrong, I know a little bit more. I benefited from having my mom that was so brave to actually take that test and then live with the fact that she had already 3 daughters. It's powerful. It's empowering for you to know and not let that sneak up on you.
But she has 2 other sisters, and she was the one who took the initiative to go get tested. She was the only one that was identified as positive. I mean, I can't imagine what life would be like without her. So the thought of losing her terrifies me, but at the same time, we're very careful. We're going to take care of what needs to be taken care of.
So how did you get asked to prom?
He like came to my house with flowers.
It was cute. Are you almost done with all your applications?
Yeah, I'm almost done. I think I have like one more to submit, but I don't even know if I'm going to submit it.
Do you have a first choice?
Probably Michigan.
Michigan?
It's cold. It's really cold.
Initially, I was 100% sure I wanted to go to UC school. I wanted to stay in California, like near my family. But now I've kind of realized that I've worked so hard for my grades just to get to this point in my life. So I want to be able to like go away out of state, and at Michigan, I think I would be really happy.
Oh God, we're going to this next year. College.
When I get these rejection letters, it hurts. You think this is it, this is the best I've done, and then don't get accepted. It's just sort of like, maybe my mother's right. She was very much fearful for my future in that regard. But when she passed away and we kind of cleaned everything out, she had like a folder of all my drawings, and you know, I didn't realize that. And so that was a pretty powerful moment.
And now that I'm having the baby, I decided to make a collage out of those drawings for the nursery. This is a drawing that my mother did when she was in first grade.
Outwardly, she had it all together. I'm calling her the Post-it note queen because everything was just so organized. But she was completely broken apart inside.
She was described antidepressants, and she just took herself off completely when something of that magnitude should have been stepped down, and it kind of sent her into a frenzy.
This was my mother that I knew my entire life, and I couldn't in a million years have thought that would happen.
With suicide, you automatically think you could have done something, you could have asked certain questions, and you're like, well, how are you really feeling, instead of just kind of rushing my mother off the phone. There was the guilt, and then there was the anger that she did it out of spite, that she didn't want to be a part of our lives.
It's a battle to sort out that feeling of betrayal and to try to embrace the fact that my mother was ill.
I didn't know how to be a mother myself when I had children, you know, especially with my first child, and I made many of the same mistakes. I suffered postpartum depression pretty bad. I was, you know, I had a lot of, I suffered from eating disorders at that time. By the time the grandchildren come along, you know, at least in my case, you know, I was able to experience real intimacy. And that's when I really began to understand what loving a child is supposed to feel like and look like.
I felt like kind of tough and fearless in a way, and driven, and maybe I wouldn't have had that, you know, had my mom survived. I might not have had that drive to, you know, to keep wanting to, you know, forge ahead. So when it came to characters, I felt like this crazy freedom where I had no ideas about being ladylike or anything, so it made me free comedically on stage.
I remember going to the movie theater to see Truth or Dare, the Madonna documentary, and I was very struck by how many similarities there were. And this guy I was dating at the time, named Michael, said to me, I bet you if you ever met her, you and she would be good friends. And I remember telling him, you know, that's crazy. She's a big pop star and I'm a comedian, I'm never gonna meet her. And about 2 days later, Penny Marshall said to me, Madonna's gonna come in to play May, and you guys are gonna play best friends. And I was kind of struck by the concept, and I didn't know what to say. But as soon as I saw her, Having just seen the film, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, you know, my name is Rosie and my mother died when I was a kid as well. And I am also named after my mom. And she just looked at me and we hugged, and there was this instant connection, like almost like siblings, right away. Some people feel that about homosexuality. You know, they're like, hey, I'm gay, you're gay. You know, I'm like, so? Some people feel that about being Irish. Hey, I'm Irish, you're Irish. I'm like, so? You know? But the dead mother thing, it's like a club. You're initiated, you get a tattoo, it is not going away.
I love it.
You do?
Yeah. It feels a lot like Michigan.
Right now in Michigan, that would be frozen.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like the famous, like quad area.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go take a look. This is all packed with people having picnics.
Studying?
Studying. And the best thing about it is you're only
45 minutes away from home.
Yeah.
And you can do your laundry.
Yeah. You have everything here you need.
Yeah.
Comparing it to other places you've been, what do you think?
I like it just as much. When I was in Michigan, I could see myself at Michigan. Like when I'm here, I could see myself here. But it's so hard to get in. I don't want to get like set on going anywhere.
The kinds of schools you've applied to, Jordan, are great schools, each one of them. And well, I want you to go wherever you'll be happy. But if you get into a UCLA, there's, you know, advantages of being close to family. You have a feeling like you're way far away.
Yeah, but you're not.
Yeah. But you'll be going to the same school where Mommy went. She loved it here.
Mm-hmm. I think she would want me to go here like for the right reasons, not just because she went here.
Yeah. What do you think, Brooke?
I love it.
This is where you're going anyway, right? Wouldn't you like to be somewhere closer, a little bit closer than back east?
I want to be close, but I also want to go. If I get in, I think my mom would have encouraged me to go to UCLA. My mom taught me to like not just think about myself, but to think about the people around me. And my dad and my sister would really like me to stay in-state. So would she have just been like, go to an in-state school, or would she have been like, go where your heart is telling you to go? It's not just that I don't want to make them sad, but I want to make them proud.
Testing positive for the mutation was hard. It's a lot of information to process. And you just don't want to be on your own. And even though I have Andrew here, all of my family is back in Brazil. So we're moving back to Brazil. Andrew decided to start looking for opportunities, and in about a month, he got a job in São Paulo. I'm very excited, but it's a little sad because I did manage to make incredible family in New York. And I think that that connects to living your life without your mom. It does make it harder, but it also makes it interesting. It was just after my 16th birthday that my mother passed away. Even though my mother had been battling cancer for 6 years, planning my party like crazy. She planned all of our dresses, not only mine, because I had two, but my sister's dresses, and her dresses, her sister's dresses. The party was really, really over the top. I mean, I walked in with a gown that was bigger than Cinderella's. It was like, whoa. She knew exactly how I would feel like a princess, and she made it perfectly so that I was the princess of the evening. In a way, I think that she had a chance to prepare a wedding, even though it was just a birthday party. I don't think a single person in that room would ever say that she was sick, but she had gone through transplants, through chemo, through 3 different types of cancer. She never showed it to us. It was something that was gonna pass and we should just go on with our lives. It was probably just 2 weeks before she died that I sat down and said, oh my God, my mom's gonna die. And I remember that day so clearly, how I felt so tricked, and I was so angry at her. I was like, how did I not know? How was I so stupid? And actually, it was just, it was her gift to us, because we didn't live her disease, we lived her alive. I remember that they got all 4 kids in the room, and she just didn't have any words, but she just looked at us. She looked at us for as long as she could. All 4 kids. We were trying to be so strong. We were telling her we were gonna be okay. And the truth is that that was our promise to her, so we had to be okay. I wish I didn't have to think that my baby girl might have to be in my position in the future, and that I might have passed down to her a high probability of developing cancer.
The day my son was placed in my arms, everything changed in terms of my relationship with my mother. I realized how much I loved this child, and my mother loved 5 children that much. And she knew she was leaving us. I remember at that moment, life seeped back in, color seeped back in, all of a sudden there was hope again. All of a sudden there was a reason to believe in tomorrow, to want all of the future days that were owed to you, I stopped looking back for my mother and started looking forward as a mother.
I had a physical recklessness, banging myself up in dangerous ways that I would never do now. People would ask, do you get hurt? You must get hurt. How do you do that? You must get hurt. But I didn't even care. I throw myself into chairs or bruise myself up. I didn't care. I didn't even think about it. It was a certain wildness that, that came from all that, I think.
When my mother was a little girl, they lived on a farm in Ontario, Canada. Her father was a paranoid schizophrenic. who was a severe alcoholic. My grandmother was a very young and very beautiful, like 35 years younger than my grandfather, and he was scared if some man would come and carry her off. And the only man that was ever allowed in the house was the piano tuner, and when my mother was 8 years old, he sexually abused her. I found that out when I was writing my memoirs in the beginning of, well, around 2000, early 2000, and that was a very important thing for me because I'd always assumed that it was simply that my mother didn't love me. I was able to forgive her. And myself for not really loving her either.
See, that's the reason you moved to Brazil, to eat fruit like a crazy person.
To a museum exhibit, not just an art gallery. We got word it was going to be at the Mississippi Museum of Art. That's my first museum show. Being in a museum, being a part of a curated show, it's fantastic.
And I think that my mother would be proud.
It is simply about the art and what the artist has to say. But I certainly fought hard, and I still fight. I directly dealt with loss in my paintings and didn't even realize it at the time. I would completely cover an entire piece of white paper black and use an eraser and extract. I started to translate how I was feeling through my art. Before my mother's death, art was how well can you draw the subject? How well can you make this painting look like the photo that you're working from? I never had the emotional connection in art. When my artwork started to get attention, it was because of the emotional expression. People started commenting on the mood in my work. No one ever said anything like that previously. It's a girl that looks like she's sort of in timeout for drawing on the walls. As a child, I got in trouble for drawing on the walls, which could have partly been my parents' fault for painting a big mural on my wall of a rainbow. And I decided to draw a thunderstorm. My excuse was, you know, it's not always sunny. The girl in the painting, only one leg is visible. When you lose a parent, it's like losing a limb. You're impaired, you get to learn things all over again. It's shaky at first, you're gonna fall down a lot,
but eventually you have to make your own way.
There's a frame of one of the parents on the wall, and then this hazy absence of a frame that there once was another parent.
No one's going to talk about it or bring it up for fear of upsetting the person.
In the place of where the other parent should be is a figure going up with a balloon in Ascension. People have tried to buy it from me many, many times, but it's something I'm not set on selling. I'm so attached to it.
There you go.
You don't like it?
No, it's too big.
I know, it's too big. I don't like the color either.
I know, it's too major.
Okay.
Okay.
Too big.
Okay.
Like it?
I love it.
Do you like the color?
I do like the color a lot.
It's not too orange.
It looks pretty with your hair. It's simple, it's elegant. I love the fabric.
Yeah.
I like the way it fits on your hips and your waist.
My hair can be like back, maybe with braids or something.
Braids and curls. Beautiful.
I like it.
I love it.
Okay, found it.
You look outstanding.
Thank you.
I feel so lucky that I'm alive and that I'm married to this great guy and I have children, and I feel so grateful.
From my point of view, at this stage of my life, at 75 years old, I think everything happened just the way it was supposed to. I'm way beyond healing. I've healed from it, and I've been able to learn from it, and I've been able to grow stronger from it. But it takes intention. You have to really want to heal. You know, you have to really want to understand and work hard at healing and getting better.
My mom died at 39. Every year that I live past that feels like a bonus round on a video game. I go to get my mammogram and they say, oh, you're fine. I'm like, are you sure? You know, I'm fine. Do you want to do it again? Did you look at every angle? I mean, you know, most women complain that mammograms are painful, but not to me. I'm like, yeah, squeeze it. Put it in a vice grip, I don't care, you know? And while so preparing for the onslaught of breast cancer, snuck in the back doorway was the heart attack. When they said you almost died of this heart attack, I remember thinking, heart attack? I'm gonna die of breast cancer like my mother did, you know? It's not true. I'm not her, and she's not me. And it took a heart attack for me to realize that I'm a separate individual with a separate life and separate destiny and a separate death date as well.
It's very bittersweet when I tell the story about my mother's suicide. If my mother wouldn't have died, I wouldn't be married to my husband and have my daughter now.
And I can look back in retrospect and see the life I've made for myself now and my new normal that I found. I've made this journey of trying to get out of the shadow of suicide to try to remember my mother, and that she was a mother that loved me. It wasn't always this darkness in our lives, and my artwork helped me to move through it.
It's no longer this long, drawn-out train full of emotions, and it's just a feeling of closure.
I decided to go out of state. I don't know if my mom would want me to do that, but I'm not the same person, and what made her happy doesn't have to make me happy. Brooke is very nervous for me to go away. If she could, she would have me at UCLA, but I think it will also be good for her. She'll become more independent and not rely on me so much.
Jordan Levine.
My dad is bummed that I'm going out of state, but I know that he wants me to do what I want to do, so I think he's happy for me. My grandma likes to say that I need Jordan time, and it's my chance to be my own person and not worry about my family and just like get a chance to experience life somewhere else.
I think about the possibility that my daughter will have the mutation on the BRCA gene as well. But I'm not that scared. I still have to finish having my kids and see if I'm gonna do any prophylactic surgeries. And I do have so much hope that in 20 years, 30 years, when my children have to start making their decisions about family, that there will be more things out there. You can't live in fear. That's a big lesson that my mother taught us. She did not want us to live in fear of her dying, because otherwise we would not have lived our first years of being teenagers. The BRCA gene is scary, but we're informed. I know where the little, excuse me the word, bastard is. I know where my kids can look for it. It's not gonna be a surprise. But let's do my journey first. Then we'll think about that.